is not a gimmick. Vision boards are very real. You have to understand all successful people have them. You're not going to get everywhere you want in life without having them in front of you. This is not a theory that Oprah Winfrey came up with. God set it in place where you could have the life of your dreams. There is a way that you can have the life of your dreams. Learn the principles of success. Ain't nobody coming up with no new stuff. All of that information is in Proverbs. But since Proverbs is hard to understand, people have self-help books, Power of Positive Thinking, Think and Grow Rich. All this stuff come out the Bible. Write the vision so that he who reads it will run to it. For surely it will come at an appointed time. That's in everybody's Bible. That ain't in the rich people's copy, but it's right there. If you don't do it, it's too hard. It's almost impossible.
How many of you ever decided not to do something based upon an assumption? That's why it's important for us to be strategic and being able to tell the story to distract, dispute, and inspire them to say yes to a new opportunity in their lives. I had such a tremendous inferiority complex. There's no enemy within. The enemy outside can do us no harm. And so as you look at your dreams, it's very important to retrain your thinking.
I can see your giftings and your talents, and I can see your joy, and I can see how wonderful you are. What I cannot see, I cannot see me. So sometimes you can see what everybody else has got going on, but you can't see you. We search for people who will help us see ourselves.
Now quit telling yourself what you can't do. All that's doing is draining your strength. You're going to discover, like I did, you're going to have strength that you didn't know you had. When you need it, God's grace is going to help you do what you didn't think you could do. Now the key is, don't cancel it out with weak thinking. Every morning when you wake up, you need to power up. Get your mind going in the right direction. This is going to be a good day. I can handle anything that comes my way. I am strong. I am confident. I have the favor of God. Angels are watching after me. I'm excited about my future. At the start of the day, you need to set your mind for victory. Don't let just any thoughts play. You have to think thoughts on purpose. If you wake up and just think whatever comes to mind, thoughts will tell you have too many problems. You're too tired. You'll never overcome this obstacle. Nothing good is going to happen today. If you don't set the tone for the day, negative thoughts will set them for you. Before you check the phone, before you read your email, before you see what the weather is like, you need to think on purpose, power thought, victory thoughts, abundance thoughts, can-do thoughts. Psalm 125 says, God will be good to those who are in tune with Him. Notice you can be in tune with God or you can be out of tune. The way you get in tune is by thinking victorious, overcoming faith-filled thought. If you go around thinking, I'll never get well, this depression, this anxiety, this addiction is going to hinder me all of my life, unfortunately, you're not in tune with God. You can't find anywhere in the scripture where God says, I'm weak, I'm discouraged, I'm afraid, the enemy's getting the best of me. God says, I am all powerful. I spoke worlds into existence. I flung stars into space. Moses asked God what his name was. God said, my name is I Am. He was saying, I am everything. I am strength. I am healing. I am provision. I am protection. I am abundance. I am favor. When God said, let there be light, it came at 186,000 miles per second. One angel in the Old Testament destroyed 185,000 of the enemies of Israel. If you're going to get in tune with God, you can't think little, weak, defeated, get by, hope this works out thought. You have to think bold thoughts, favor thoughts, abundance thoughts, healing thoughts, victory thoughts. Yes, the opposition may be much bigger, much stronger. Just agree with what God said. Lord, you said, when the enemy comes against me one way, you will defeat them and cause them to flee 7 different ways. When thoughts tell you you'll never get well, get in tune with God. Lord, thank you that you're restoring health back into me. Thank you that the number of my days you will fulfill. The thought comes, this shutdown over the virus has ruined your year. year financially. Just accept it and wait for next year. Lord, thank you that the economy is not my source, that you are my source. You said you would make rivers in the desert, that you would supply all of my needs according to your riches. You have that thought, you'll never have a baby. You heard the experts, it's not possible. Father, you said what's impossible with people is possible with you. You said you'd make the barren woman a happy mother of children. So Father, thank you that my baby is on the way. The way to get in tune with God is to think what He says about you. Not what you feel, not what the experts say, not what the economy says, but what the Most High God has spoken over you. The Scripture says, whose report will you believe? What the 10 spies are saying? The negative report? Telling you what you can't do? How it's too tough? Or what Joshua and Caleb are saying? How you are well able. When my father went to be with the Lord and I stepped up to pastor the church, every thought told me that I couldn't do it, that I wasn't qualified, didn't have the training, I was too quiet. If I would have believed that report, I would have missed my destiny. That's why the Scripture says, be careful what you think. It gives us a warning. Your thoughts are setting the limits for your life. All that came to my mind were fearful, intimidating, negative thoughts. I did what I'm asking you to do. I didn't just think those thoughts because they showed up. I didn't dwell on them and think they were the truth. I tuned them out and got in tune with God. On purpose, I thought, I can do all things through Christ. I am strong in the Lord. I've been raised up for such a time as this. Father, thank you that I'm equipped, empowered, and anointed. Thoughts told me, nobody's going to listen to you, Joel. You don't have anything to say. Instead of believing those lies, I said, Father, thank you that your favor is causing me to stand out. That people are going to like me. They're going to be drawn to me. When they turn me on, they can't turn me off. If I had not got in tune with God and thought these power thoughts, I wouldn't be here. When Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden, they ate the forbidden fruit that God told them not to eat. Then they ran and hid. God came looking for them, said, Adam, where are you? Adam said, we're hiding because we're naked. God said, Adam, who told you you were naked? God knew the enemy had been talking to them. God is saying to you, who told you you're not qualified? Who told you you've made too many mistakes? Who told you that you come from the wrong family, that you'll never be successful? Those are the wrong voices. You need to tune that out and get in tune with God. When thoughts tell you you're just average, there's nothing special about you, get rid of that defeated thought and think power thoughts. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am a masterpiece. I have royal blood flowing through my veins. I am crowned with favor. I will leave my mark. If you'll get in tune with God, He'll open doors that no person can shut. He'll take you where you can't go on your own. When thoughts tell you you've been through too much, you lost that loved one, the business didn't make it, that friend walked out on you, nothing good is in your future, don't believe those lies. Father, thank you that you have beauty for these ashes. Thank you that what was meant for my harm, you are turning to my advantage. When you're in tune with God, He'll pay you back for the wrong. Isaiah said, God will give you double for the unfair things that have happened. Instead of thinking you've seen your best days, Lord, thank you that double is coming. Thank you that my latter days will be better than my former day. In the Scripture, there was a young man named Mephibosheth. He was the grandson of King Saul and the son of Jonathan, David's best friend. Mephibosheth was born into royalty, destined to one day take the throne. But at 5 years old, his grandfather and father were killed in a battle. When word reached his house, the maid that took care of him picked him up and took off running, afraid that the enemy army was going to come after them. In her haste, she accidentally tripped and dropped Mephibosheth. Both of his legs were broken. He became crippled for life. Sometimes well-meaning people can drop you. This nurse had good intention. She was trying to help him, but she dropped him. Years passed. Mephibosheth ended up living in exile in a city called Lodabar. It was one of the poorest, most rundown cities of that day. The name Lodabar means without pasture. It had no greenery, no place to grow crops. It was like a wasteland. Here Mephibosheth was the grandson of the king. He had royalty in his blood. but he was living in the slums, barely surviving. One day, King David was thinking about his friend Jonathan. He asked his men if there were any of his relatives still alive so he could be good to them. David's men went out and searched through the slums of Lodabar and finally found Mephibosheth. Now he was a grown man. They had to carry him back to the palace. I'm sure Mephibosheth was afraid, thinking David was going to pay him back for his grandfather, King Saul, trying to kill him. But it was just the opposite. David was incredibly kind to him. He said, from now on, you're going to live in the palace with me. Every night, you're going to have dinner at my table. I'm going to give you all the land that belonged to your grandfather, King Saul. Mephibosheth was overwhelmed. He couldn't believe what was happening. But the way he answered shows us why he was living in Lodabar all those years. He said to David, why would you be so kind to a dead dog like me? Notice his thoughts. Weak, defeated. I don't deserve to be blessed. I've had too many bad breaks. People dropped me. I wonder how many of us are doing like Mephibosheth. We are sons and daughters of the Most High God. We have royalty in our blood. We're destined to reign in life. But because somebody dropped us, we went through wrong, disappointments, things that weren't fair, or we made mistakes, we got off course, brought the trouble on ourselves, and now we're living in Lodabar, thinking we don't deserve to be blessed. We just have to sit on the sidelines, accept that our dreams will never come to pass. Can I encourage you? Get rid of that dead dog thinking. Nothing that's happened to you has to keep you from your destiny. No mistake you've made is too much for the mercy of God. You may have had some bad breaks, gone through some failures, but that didn't stop God's plan for your life. Now you have to do your part and quit thinking limited, defeated, unworthy thoughts and start thinking victory thoughts, abundance thoughts, favor thoughts. Put your shoulders back, hold your head up high, and remember who you are and whose you are. A child of the Most High. Get in tune with Him. Like David's men went searching through Lodabar, God is looking for you today. He's saying, I'm about to do a new thing. I'm about to pay you back for the wrongs. I'm about to open new doors, turn negative situations around. You're going to be amazed at the goodness of God. I'm asking you to pay attention to what you're thinking. You are drawing in what you're constantly dwelling on. Your thoughts are running your life. Is what you're thinking about what you want? Are you thinking weak, defeated, I can't do it thoughts? Or are you thinking power thoughts? I am well able. God is fighting my battles. Something good is in my future. Don't be like the 10 spies. The 80% that are negative, stand out in the crowd. Be a Joshua. Be a Caleb and think victory thought. If you'll do this, I believe and declare, like God did for them, you're going to make it into your promised land. You're going to see God show out in your life. Like Mephibosheth, everything you've lost, God is about to restore. The health, the finances, the dreams, they're going to come looking for you